Hi Collective. This message is for anybody that's wondering how they could confirm if their twin flame is really their twin flame. So first of all, I would like to say that I don't think anybody can validate or confirm that for you. Even if you find twin flame readers that are, what you believe specialists in understanding twin flame energy, I don't think that they can or should confirm this for you. Understanding the twin flame connection is really on the twin flame itself, and usually because this connection is led by divine feminine, this is really something that is, one, initially comes to you from an inner knowing, and two, as you go to research what's really happening to you, why is this particular interaction with this individual, which most likely is a divine masculine that you're dealing with, so different, that you will come to realize that you might be on what you're speculating to be a twin flame connection. Now, why I say that nobody should be able to confirm what this connection is for you is because twin flame connections are energetic connections. They are dependent on you coming into yourself, trying to understand what your soul is telling you, your intuition is telling you, what your higher self is telling you, and becoming, attuned to that. So if you are relying on external help, excessive external validation, then you are getting further away from the purpose of this connection. You are required to understand, feel, and get your own internal confirmations about what this connection really is. Just to add my own personal experience regarding this, I remember when I was activated onto this journey, I remember telling a girlfriend who was very close to me, very spiritual in nature, who could kind of relate to what I was explaining to her about my experience with the twin flame journey. Not that she is a twin herself, but she was very open to, I should say, to my experience on this, on the twin flame journey and in the connection. So I remember telling her, look, I'm having this experience, but ever since I've met my twin flame, I can feel this individual's energy around me all the time. So being very curious, she said, explain to me what that means. Like, describe it. I don't think I quite understand. And I remember telling her, and this is precisely what I felt, was literally imagine a shadow that's just kind of stuck to you. So you recognize your own energy, but then you feel like this external masculine energy, which is your twin flame's energy, just constantly with you. Like it's literally like a shadow, but a shadow you can feel is the best way to describe it. So I said to her, this energy is just always clinging to me, and I can't seem to get rid of it. And so she says to me, can you describe what it feels like to you? Is it something negative? And I said, no, actually, quite the opposite. She goes, well, how would you describe it? And I said, it's weird, actually. It feels like somebody's hugging me like all the time, but it's a very comforting feeling. It's almost as if I feel like I'm home. And to be quite honest, this was the first time that I was speaking out loud about what I was feeling and what I was experiencing. And so to describe something as such, that it feels like home, was very weird to me. Nevertheless, I'm sharing this because I still had not become very acquainted with twin flame information, through readers or through YouTube. It was just preliminary research I had initially done, but this was just something that I felt. It was my own inner knowing, and this description was coming from my own self or higher self. But this was so interesting for me because it was shortly after that I said this. This information started to pop up for me from other individuals on YouTube, on random videos in my feed where people were describing the feeling of a twin flame connection and the ability to feel your divine or twin counterpart, and it feeling like a feeling of home. And I was just mind blown by that similarity. So just again to kind of reiterate my point here is that don't believe anybody can validate that for you. Yes, you can listen to other people, you can understand the information that's being given to you, but at some point in time, you got to be able to feel what you're feeling, look at your intuition, understand what you're going through. And yes, and if you find that, wow, other people are having the same experience, that's validation for you. But that inner knowing and initial experience should be coming from your own self that will help you confirm that you are a twin flame. Now, you must have had some form of encounter with your twin flame to realize, wait, this connection is really different. That leads you to doing more research. So I think you can validate and confirm a twin flame connection, but usually the initial aspect of a twin flame journey is, confirmed by you and yourself. When you look at this connection that you've encountered, why it's doing what it's doing that's different than anything else that you've encountered before, that then leads to you to go do some research and may reveal to you that, wait, there is some form of a pattern to twin flame connections, and that's exactly what I'm experiencing in my own connection. Now, to share a little bit of context as to what I'm referring to here is, for me personally, for example, my twin flame and I met in school, in high school to be exact, and then went to university together and then parted ways and went off and had our different lives. I got married, got divorced, and now was meeting my twin flame years later. But when I came into contact with my twin years later, I went through what you can describe as almost an electric shock. Literally, I have no other better way to, not painful in any way, but literally feels like if you were electrocuted without pain, that's what it would feel like. I felt like I had electricity running through my body, just flowing through me for a 24-hour period. And interestingly enough, it didn't happen when the individual was in front of me, but after we parted ways is kind of where it started. And it lasted pretty much until the next day, where I checked in with myself to say, what the heck was that? And that led me to go online, to do some research, to understand what was happening to me. And that was the first time that I came across the concept of twin flames. Now, I had many other experiences regarding this individual prior to this meeting, such as excessive dreams over the years about this individual, but I never really thought anything of it. Yes, some of them were romantic in nature, but I was married, wasn't in contact with this individual, so to give it any sort of significance just didn't seem rational to me. So now, after this particular instance, I was really curious to say, what is that? And no confirmation from anybody else that I was led to doing some research, understanding that there's many people like me out there that experience something similar, and not to say that all twin flames go through this experience. Activation could look very different for various individuals, various twin flames. In your initial interaction, you may feel something totally different, and yes, others may experience what I experienced. So just to say that confirmation for me didn't come from somebody else. It was my inner knowing to say, hold on. I've been through several connections prior to my marriage itself, a person I loved and married. So what is happening here with this particular connection that's so different, which led me to experiencing and researching a little bit more and to dive into this a little bit more. I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much for listening. God bless.